So for the longest time now, I've always wanted to have a pet IRL for myself, but I never really had the time, the resources, or the energy to really take care of a pet. But now that I'm a little bit older and wiser and more sure of myself, of what I really want and also need, I thought it is not time right now. So I'm going to build myself a vet clinic in The Sims 4 so I can live vicariously through my Sims gameplay. So when I was building this vet clinic, I was going to use it initially for my Not So Berry challenge for Generation 12 and onward, but I've slowly come to terms that I don't really need to use a vet clinic all the time. So it's like, I want to build it for myself and make it more fun for me instead of all the cats and dogs were even born in my save file. Because if you remember a couple months ago on Twitter, I posted a tweet of a photo of a family tree of a cat named Sam. And if you know Sam, you know what the drama is all around that. So it all started back in my Generation 10 of the Not So Berry Challenge. I had a cat named Fish. And Fish, was a free spirit, did what they wanted, roamed around, did what they wanted to do, and meet other cats. This cat, Fish, my cat, met Sam not once but twice and got pregnant not once but twice by the same cat. I ended up having 4 cats in the same household by the same, Sam character, which was not pleasant because I did not know where he lived, what he was doing, and even if he actually ever existed. I later on found who he was and found the cat. I looked at his family tree using the selectable pet mod, and lordy Lou, let me tell you, Sam was like the Don Lothario of the cat, democracy here. He was basically doing the 100 kitten challenge without me even controlling him. He was a hot mess express. But regardless, I think that Sam is a wild character. He's no longer living because he was an old cat. But I wanted to build a vet clinic because I want a pet IRL, but I also want to have a place where I can go to with my pets and also have a nice facility to go to because the old one just didn't look really good to me. It was kind of too big. It was very empty or like not as filled in as I would like to. And I wanted something very small, but also homey and kind of replicated a suburban traditional like home. And so the idea that I had was that this vet clinic was previously a home in Brindleton Bay named by the Cooperson household, which is one of the richest households in my save file that I'm playing right now. And the Coopersons are a well-prestiged family. They're not as rich as the Landgrafs, but they're in the top 5, I would say. And the Coopersons owned this vet clinic for so many years, or they owned a home, but then later on, turned it into the vet clinic to make some money out of it. Because something that I've always wanted to do was play through the vet clinic profession with cats and dogs to see what it had to offer, because I played with it for a little bit, but didn't really play fully with it. And I didn't get nearly close enough to really see the full value of the vet clinic profession or the pack in general. Because I remember when we got cats and dogs, it was so exciting, so lovely. I was at Sims Camp when it happened, and I'm not joking, I loved it. But then slowly over the time, I was getting the vibe that I'm I don't know if I'm gonna really play with pets that much because I don't have a pet IRL and I don't really see the joy of having a pet in The Sims. So I didn't really play with pets for the longest time. I always found them very annoying and too much to care for. And it was just a lot to handle for my Sims. On top of having kids and, working their storyline, pets on top of that was a lot to figure out. But now that I'm a little bit older and wiser, I feel like I got a good head on my shoulders. I know what I want in The Sims, but I also know what I want IRL. And so one day in the world, I will adopt myself a lovely dog. I'm a dog person, but I took a quiz recently on BuzzFeed and another quiz somewhere else. It was telling me that I'm 56% dog person and the other percent of a cat person, which I can kind of see. I love both dogs and cats. I love Cat Dog, that TV show, great times. But I'm a dog and cat person, but I gravitate towards more dogs, and I don't know why. I've always been scared of dogs IRL, when I was younger, because I just didn't know better, and I was I'm gonna run towards a dog and hope for the best it goes well. Don't do that. Don't run towards a dog that you don't know. It's not good for you. But I also was just hyperactive and a wild child when I was younger. But I feel now that I'm older, I understand the value of having a dog and the value of owning a pet and adopting and just how to take care of it properly and making sure it lives as long as it possibly can, and making sure it's a good, well companion, but also adopting for the right reasons instead of the wrong reasons. But, I built this on stream, and I remember when I was building it, I was going back and forth between the two, what do I want to add? Should I add this? Should I add that? What's the vibe that I should bring it? And a lot of y'all gave me a lot of good suggestions on this build. Like, I didn't think I was going to make it this big, but you all said, like, have enough rooms for each and every like treatment center, like at least have like 2 or 3, where you have like the surgery portion and like the regular general care portion, but also like a waiting area to like have your guests sit there for a while until they're called forth for their pet to be treated on. And like, if you love like builds like this, or you just love in general like watching live streams, I go live on Twitch pretty much every single day, so I'm always there basically. And if you ever want to watch a stream of mine, I do builds all the time. Like, I do speed builds, I record all my builds on stream, I do gameplay challenges like the Not So Berry challenge, I play Sims 2, Sims 3, Sims 4, and sometimes Sims 1. So if you ever want to come by to my Twitch stream, it's just so if you ever want to come to my Twitch streams, it's just twitch.tv/SpringSims. My link is always down below in the description, as always. But regardless though, I find building community lots not my expertise, but I had a lot of fun building this, and I think building on stream has boosted my confidence a little bit more with building other things other than houses all the time, because I build houses day, noon, and night. I have become a building channel at this point because all I do is build, but now I'm trying to incorporate some gameplay here and there to see what I can possibly do. It's getting better, hopefully. I hope so. But looking at the old vet clinic from this world, Brindleton Bay, and trying to kind of replicate it a little bit, but make it better, I was thinking, what do I add? How do I make each room individually, like with their own sense of like style? So I kind of went with the same color scheme throughout the entire vet clinic, with the tan and white counters and the tan and white countertops. And this is just general appliances are that color, so it just made perfect sense. So, and only using cats and dogs and base game has become a real eye-opener of what that whole pack has to offer. Now, when I uploaded to the gallery, it said I had Discovery University in there, but there's no Discovery University whatsoever in this build. So when you download it, you should be totally fine. It's just base game and cats and dogs, but the gallery tends to glitch sometimes, and I don't know why it does, but we're just gonna let that slide. But however, I have been pre-recording a bunch of videos in advance because I'm going away on a trip to meet a friend, and I'm so excited because it's my first time ever meeting them, but also my first time on vacation that I'm actually going to, that I paid for myself in a very long time. Like, it's the first flight I have ever paid for, and the first flight that I'm going to a place that I chose to go to for the first time ever in my life. So it's really interesting that like I'm growing up as an adult, but also growing up as like a general, I don't know, it's so thrilling to just grow up and do things that you haven't done before, but trying things for the first time ever, but getting help from other people is also really cool. But I'm going to go see my friend Ravishing in person, and I'm so excited. And I think by the time I'm uploading this video, I'm already still on vacation, so I won't be live when you catch my stream. But there will be videos all this week, so you won't be missing me too much. But I think I have some fun videos planned for this channel. I'm trying to get better at uploading videos and being more consistent with what I'm posting, but also just kind of making it better, but also like quality over quantity is like what I'm trying to like do for this channel, where I will post every other day, but I'm hoping that it'll be good enough content for you all to watch and enjoy and be excited for. And that's why I'm trying to do a bunch of builds and a bunch of gameplay. And I'm thinking of playing older Sims games like My Sims and maybe a little bit more Sims Medieval, like a one-off portion type of video. I did one a couple weeks ago, but I want to do it again because I think it's really fun and exciting to explore older Sims games. Even though I play The Sims 2 all the time on this channel, I want to do older ones that I probably have not played in a long time. Anyway, this build, I don't really know how much it costs, but I do know it's on the same exact pet hospital lot in Brindleton Bay. It's in the same like sub neighborhood where Brent and Brent Hecking live. And it's also across from the pet park, so you kind of get the vicinity of where it's at in the area. But I think I want to challenge myself and build another community lot. Like, I don't think I'm fully ready to do an actual full people hospital yet from Get to Work, because that hospital lot is quite big and requires a lot of things to, make it function and run as an everyday hospital. So I think the next one I want to do is probably build a restaurant or build some type of gym or I don't know, maybe a library next. I don't know what kind of community lot I want to do. But if you have any suggestions on community lots that I should build with a pack restricted mentality idea, let me know in the comments below because I want to do something different. I want to be able to make builds and do things that I haven't done before. Maybe I'll do a build where I'm using using packs that I don't like or packs that I don't really use. Like my first pet stuff, I don't use that pack as much as I give it credit for, but I use a few things here and there, but I don't use it all the time. So maybe I just like Batu, my first pet stuff, maybe using all kits. I don't really know. I think that's just like the idea that The Sims 4 is going to be free in like in about a week is so crazy to me. And so like I'm thinking like all these base game builds I can make and all like these base game and blank pack builds I can do, but I can make it better. So I have some really, really cool ideas up my sleeve that you all don't know about, but I'm really, really excited to like share what it fully will be. Because I think I've told you already at this point that I'm making a save file. I'm making two different save files at the same time, which is crazy. I'm making a save file where I'm using all the packs that I have, but then I'm also making another save file that's completely base game all the way through because I think that'd be really cool. Changing it up here and there, seeing what I can like add to or, you know, incorporate with my own building style. Just because some of the builds in the base game and other packs are a little bit iffy to me. But either way, I think it's time to go and show you the real-time tour of this vet clinic because I feel like having it all being sped up is just not really seeing the full value of the build. So let me show you what it looks like. I think y'all will be very proud. I'm really in love with this build and I think y'all will be too. Now, I know this build looks like a house, but trust me, it was intentional once a home, now a vet clinic, because the Cooperson family said we're poor, even though we have over 10 million simoleons, we need more money. So they took this building and made it into a vet clinic to earn some money, which is like honestly a smart idea. But I'm kind of glad that I built this because I never go to vet clinics in The Sims 4, and the old one felt like kind of sad and droopy and kind of empty and I didn't want to go there anymore. So I built my own and I think I did a really good job on this because the general exterior was something not in my like range. I went back a little bit. I kind of held back on the landscaping of the clutter and made it more simple, but yet classy at the same time. But I love the backyard because the old one had like a little obstacle course for your dogs to train, but I wanted to add in a food stall because I felt, you know, pet owners might have surgery and general checkups for their pets or pet training, and they might need some food on the go. So I added that over here in this corner. And of course I added in some pet bowls and some pet toy boxes because training and you might need some munchies along the way while you're training. So usually for the interior, I go a little bit crazy with like the clutter and all the decals on the wall and just making it too complicated for myself. But luckily for me, whenever I build on stream, I always ask you all in Twitch chat on what I should add to my build. So it helps me a lot when you all like give me feedback on what I do, which is kind of great. So I only added in like 2 pet bowls. I did decide to only add in 1 check-in box over here because I felt it's a small facility. You don't really got that much activity happening around here anyway. So I felt 1 was needed and only 1 vending machine. And then a check-in area seemed very simple with adding a bay window, a scratching post, a little Roomba, and some pet related things. So in each room where your pets will, you know, do their surgery and general checkups, I wanted to make sure that each room had their own individual personality based on the color scheme of the wallpaper. Like we have like a light mint green blue room, more of like a light blue room, and then we also have like a yellow room over here, which is like representing nice and joy and sunny and exciting and not scary. So you have like your checkup room over here. I have a general like medicine crafting room for your employees to make the treats. And then the surgery room, which is right here. And then the other checkup room. Now, I also did add in an employee lounge or like a break room for your employees because I feel like when you're working all hours in the day, you need somewhere to relax and chill and vibe for a hot minute before getting back out into the work field and working like a dog, literally. And then the general cafeteria for all the patients or your employees that might work here or come here and they can eat while they're, you know, doing this stuff day to day. There's a little kitchenette over here. And then, of course, the 1 singular bathroom that anyone can basically use. Your pets, your people, your employees, or whatever who they might come in and use your facilities and probably, you know, yell at you for not having more stalls. But regardless, I think that this build looks really, really cool. I had a lot of fun building it, and I kind of want to build another one just like it, but with another story in mind for the Cooperson family, and see what I can come up with, because honestly, turning a home into a community lot sounds like a really cool idea. But either way, as always, I do hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below, as always, of what you thought of today's build. But let me ask you this: do you own a pet? And if you do, let me know what their name is, how old they are, and what you love most about them. But regardless, as always, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!